Hello friends, and welcome to the Lovely Place channel, the channel that's like a box of chocolates because you never know what you're going to get. Today's film is a return to my cactus collection. I made a little video about them last year, and I was thinking that I would do it each year because the problem with cactuses, or maybe the good thing about them, is that you just can't tell if they're growing or not. One minute they're really teeny tiny and then the next minute they're massive. So I thought I would kind of record and catalogue all the cactuses I've got and how they looked last year compared with this year. So as you can see, the rest of this film is going to be split screen. On the left is usually going to be the cactus how it was last year, and on the right it will be the cactus how it is this year. What you might notice is a big difference in the colour between the two, and that is because of the lighting that I used. On the left hand side I was experimenting with artificial light, and on the right hand side I'm pretty sure it was all natural light. But as you know, this year, instead of having sunshine over the summer, we've had pouring rain for most of the time, and it's also been very cold. So I'm wondering if next year the cactuses might grow a bit bigger. I've been honest, and I have pointed out that last year I got overexcited and put the cactuses outside in the bright sun, and a load of them got sunburnt. Usually when I've put them outside, they've adapted quite well and done really well in natural sunlight and natural weather patterns. But last year they got sunburnt within the space of one day. And this year, it's so cold, wet and rainy that they kept getting blown over, especially the biggest ones at the start of this film. So I have been taking them inside, which means they get covered in cobwebs and spiders and dust. I'd really love it if somebody could put in their comments how they manage to clean their spiny cactuses of those things. Or maybe they just live somewhere super clean and never have to worry about that sort of thing. My cactus collection has grown a little bit on the big side. We live in quite a northern area and there's very little what I would call natural sunlight, and I don't have a greenhouse, I just have a porch. So I do worry that my cactuses are not getting the best possible care that they deserve. The most problems I have is in the wintertime when the temperature in the porch can drop as low as -5. And so all the really fleshy cactuses I have to bring inside where there isn't much space for them. So that is a big problem for me. You will notice that I lost a couple this winter, and I lost all my orchids this winter in one overnight freeze in the porch. So this winter I'm going to definitely bring my orchids into the house and all my fleshy cactuses, and hopefully they will overwinter with a lack of natural sunlight, but we shall see. I haven't always grown cactuses. When I started growing things, I was more into growing food that you could eat, preferably trees that would grow on trees like apples and pears and things like that. And I've also grown vegetables, and then I got into flowers. And finally, around about the time of the menopause, cactus. Wonder how that happened. I think maybe it was a natural progression. Cactuses are great, especially if you have a full-time job, because they can pretty much manage on their own. Once you get them in the right position in your house, they don't need much watering, they don't need much attention, and they will just carry on growing for you regardless. Once I got a cactus. I forgot that it was mine. But the crazy fact is, my cactus was completely fine, without my care, upon the shelf, with water saved in spiny stem. It took care of itself.
Hi. These are my cactuses. I put googly eyes on them. A lot of people are putting googly eyes on their cactuses nowadays. I think it's because cactuses are dangerous. Cactuses have pricklers that can stab you in your hands, your throat, your face. So you need to know where you stand with them at all times. The only way to know where you stand with someone is to look into their eyes, right? Normally, plants don't have eyes, so it's hard for me to trust them. Hence, googly eyes. Still, a good rule of thumb is don't turn your back on a cactus.
He's right, you know. Don't turn your back on a cactus. Anyway, back to the film. This aeonium, I was quite pleased with. It's changed colour over the year. But then I got the new one at the car boot sale and it's done absolutely nothing. So I've just today cut the heads off it and stuck them in some soil, and I'm going to see if they grow or if they die. I will keep you posted for 2025. This cactus seems to not have grown at all. In fact, it's even lost its little curly things on top. So that was partly the reason for actually making the video, to see if the thing was growing or if it was just my imagination. Unfortunately, this was another casualty. Now, looking at them now, you can see that the top has dimpled down in. As I perform an operation on it, you will see the outcome. I have made another video of an operation I performed on a cactus based on advice that I got from the lovely Lynn from Desert Plants of Avalon. I watched one of her videos, which was brilliant, and I tried it out for myself, and I'm going to make a video about the outcome of that as well as this one. So big shout out to Lynn. Thanks for all your inspiration. I dedicate my next cactus video that I'm going to do to you guys. You will be able to see the operation I performed. That was a success, rather than this one that it was all a little bit too late. That is what happens to a fleshy cactus when you overwater it. I've had this cactus for quite some time. I think it's an aloe. It's not. Would it be a succulent rather than a cactus? It's had plenty of babies, no problem. And then these are the kind of succulents that they sell in the supermarkets all the time. Very, very hardy. Only ever get yourself one of each colour because they can have babies like it's going out of fashion. If you're enjoying this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. Thanks. This cactus I got at the start of the year from a car boot sale, and it's already growing. The pink on the spines has disappeared though a lot. I think the barrel cactuses tend to change in shape and become more cylindrical, if anything. My mother of millions, the main mother, has been grew too fast and died, so we've got lots and lots of babies coming on now from the main mother plant. This one did not do well in the winter time. As you can see, it's halved in size, but hopefully these two last bits will keep growing. This one is more successful. I think next year I might repot it and try and split it into 2 or 3 separate plants. I don't know what the name of it is. This one is a new one that I got. It was more expensive than what I'd usually pay at a car boot, but it is a beautiful specimen and really big. So I'm pleased with that one. I'm afraid this is another casualty. I really do need to be more careful with them in the winter time. Here we go. This is one that doesn't seem to have grown at all in over a year. Maybe I'm overwatering it. Maybe it's not getting enough sunshine. I'm not sure. And I think this one is called the Bishop's Hat. Again, another one must be very slow growing, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm doing something wrong. Please leave your comments below. If you'd like to like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. The agave plant that I got, yes, did have lots of babies when I'd already bought it. So I'm potting those on, but again, another very slow grower. I've noticed how the flowers on this have really changed as the plant has got older. It is the same plant, but look at how the flowers are different. And finally, after 3 or 4 years, I think, stuck in a teacup, I'm seeing some growth of this one. So maybe next year I might do a repotting into something different. This was another car boot plant that is doing well. It's actually stuck in the green pot now, so I need to definitely try and get it out at some point and split and repot. I bought a bunch of these Christmas cactuses. Well, I bought 2 Christmas cactuses from Lidl or Aldi and then split them and separated them, and I'm hoping that they will get nice and big. I seem to remember I bought them as white, but then they flowered and they turned out to be pink, oddly. Again, this one seems to have changed the colour of its spines as it's getting older. The pink are below. And another little cactus that hasn't, a pincushion cactus that hasn't changed at all. Maybe got a bit fatter around the edges. Now this one, I no longer have it. It has gone to a man who is much more qualified to deal with it than me. It took up far too much space, couldn't go anywhere near it, kept shedding everything, packed it up and thankfully sold it. Thank goodness for that. This is one of my favourites because it's got spines, but the spines are soft and succulent, so completely harmless. And it's grown this year. And we're coming to the end. So thank you very much for watching my cactus collection video. I will work hard on post-production and hopefully get a better video ready for 2025. Please like and subscribe if you like cactuses, and bye for now.